Okay, hi everybody, I'm Sandy. I am doing my presentation today over rocks, crystals, and sandstone. And let's go ahead and get started. I have my little thank yous in here, and for those of y'all that know I go to ECU, you can laugh at my non-ECU logo. Dr. Hesman, I figured you'd think that was funny. And I just wanted to thank you to everybody in here. I've learned so much from all of y'all and just really getting to know you. It's always so much fun to get to know fellow teachers, especially from rural areas. So my presentation today is over, did any of y'all know that hourglass, selenite crystals, and rose rocks are almost entirely unique to the state of Oklahoma? I don't know if y'all knew that or not. We're just going to do a little bit of history. On rose rocks, the largest single specimen ever discovered was 17 inches in diameter, 10 inches high, and weighed 125 pounds. That's for one single rose. The largest cluster weighed more than 1,000 pounds, and in the 1960s, rock and mineral collectors campaigned for the barite rosette to become Oklahoma's state rock. So this is just a little bit of the Encyclopedia of Oklahoma history and culture. It's a great place to go if y'all want to learn about anything in this lesson. And with my students, like here would be where I would be having them look up information and reading it. I wouldn't be standing here reading all of this to them. But they actually did get the bill passed in, I believe, 1968, and it is our state flower now, I believe. I don't know if it's on that slide, but if you go on down, it is. So before we go into the salt plains, Charlie, if you guys want to just show that, this was originally a several rose rock cluster, and on that side of it, this is one I had at my house, and it got knocked over through the storms and rain going, so the rose rocks have fallen off of it. So I just wanted y'all to see how it actually looks when they form on top of it. You can kind of see where the roses have come off of it. So I was going to have them work on this. Charlie has a sandstone to see how much he can get off. And then if you want to use, you've actually got a Rio Grande River rock, see how much you can scratch off on it.
So what are we going to scrub them with?
Just your rocks.
Just
Just
on the
rub
rock
them
itself?
to see if you can like grab your name on them
Or
or.
graffiti it?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to it. I have plenty of them. So while they're doing that, we're going to go into the salt plains. Has anybody in here ever been to the salt plains? Yay, a few of you have, awesome. So they are 11,200 acres. They're a unique geological feature. And I actually was surprised that I just learned about this myself maybe 10, 15 years ago. I grew up in Oklahoma and didn't even know it existed. So it is definitely a place I would suggest everybody going to that hasn't been there. And kids have a great time because they can still dig for the crystals. This is what one of the crystals would look like. And I think I forgot to remind Dr. Nanny to bring a couple. But you can go there and spend as much time as you want to. They don't all look like this. They're all different sizes, all different shapes. Some look like arrowheads. The one thing I would definitely suggest, it gets hot, take some shade, wear a hat, take an umbrella. And then this is where I just sort of go through what crystallization is with my students. And what it means. It kind of has a little bit of background to this lesson plan, but I'm not going to go through all of that with y'all. So, I have Aaron and Jeremy. We're going to start out with 400 milliliters of water, and this is well water. And we would also do this with distilled water. And they're going to almost bring it to a boil. They're just going to start heating it up. And they're going to add non-iodized salt to it until it won't absorb any more of the salt. And normally I would have weighed this in grams if we.
How much are we adding? How much salt, or do we wait till it gets hot?
We have a lap scale if you want to weigh it out.
Okay.
Do you guys want a scale?
Well, I don't know
How much does it say?
salt can 400 milliliters hold? I don't know.
You pour it until the water will not absorb anymore.
Okay.
There are no
So
exact,
she's just stirring.
We may wanna.
there are no
Well, it won't
exact
work, I guess.
measurements for this.
You're just trying to create an oversaturated system.
You're trying to get it to where once it's
That's what the years-
oversaturated, you stop.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then as it sits, the salt crystals will grow.
This one should be on the grow like today.
Yeah, it's like grow instantly. You like it?
What's the volume of water?
400.
400 because I figured it would hold that.
Yeah,
Close
so
to that
400.
entire
you're going to
container.
Probably that's, you're gonna probably add 300 grams of salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sugar.
And they were very specific about non-iodized salt. If I were doing this in the classroom, I would do non-iodized.
Dang.
I would do Epsom salt. What was the other
Sea
salt?
salt for doesn't usually.
Yeah, sea salt. What was the other one? The
There we
pink
go.
Himalayan.
Well, no.
There were like 4 or 5.
So why the different types of salt? Why are you making a
That's
distinction?
great.
I just want them to understand because this is like around a 3rd grade-ish level lesson plan. You can do it with older students. But at the beginning of this, I would have them just put the 1 grain under it. And I want them to understand.
He didn't say anything for this.
That like this salt crystal, we know is going to be square.
That way.
Yeah.
But I just wanted them to be able to try the other salts to see if all of them truly came out
As
under a microscope.
So, okay,
as-
so you're
Lesson plan, recycle, reuse, and apply. They would not have a choice at this age. Everybody would be doing it. So my lovely class over here, our group of students, came up with a recycling project. A lot of people spend money on fire starting sticks. So would y'all like to explain what your recycling project is?
I think we're putting recycled shredded paper into these tubes so that we can start a fire.
Yes, and they're going to stuff them in there where they're really full. And these actually make great fire starters for people who go camping, who have real wooden fireplaces. And it's a great way to not put a chemical fire starter back into the earth. So it's a great way to recycle.
You can also use dryer lids. Stuff that's full of dryer lids.
Yes.
And that works real well.
Batteries and steel wool,
Steel, yeah.
Wait, are we putting the steel wool in the
No.
fire?
But
Okay.
it'll white though. You
Steel
can white.
wool's good
Really?
handling. Yeah. It's really good.
I'm glad
I
you
mix
brought up the
paraffin.
dryer lint because I actually save that all year long in a box. If somebody came into my closet, my
Yeah.
hallway closet, just like I said, we would just go through all of these. We don't have the outside microscope to go out and discover this, but on Amazon you can get the coolest little handheld microscope for kids to go outside and actually be able to look at things through it without having to harm anything. And they can take photos while they're doing it, so they can look at a butterfly when it closed, or look at a grasshopper at close, but they're not having to harm anything. And then the rare earth minerals, I will go into that on Friday. So there are the references and my acknowledgements. I hope I got that in there right, but Dr. Neely and Dr. Tessman, I've never made it through this semester without both of you?